If your life's answers were in a ghost town, wouldn't you want to go? Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where we take trade paperbacks and single issues and we break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then we read automatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. This is the last of the 3 bloody tales in the Silent Hill 3 Bloody Tales comic book. If you guys are enjoying these Silent Hill stories, let me know, because there's a lot of other comic books with more complete stories in them. But I wanted to do these 3 to see what you guys think. We start off with a man chanting to himself, asking to Azazel to protect him and give him strength. He's chasing someone, but the chase is over. He got what he wants and he leaves, and he tells the man to draw. Then he tosses his cigarette into a pile of explosives, setting the whole place on fire. The man begins to walk down the road where 2 young ladies see him walking, and they decide to pick him up. He tells them that he isn't going far, he has business. Robert Tower then wakes up in his bed. He hasn't been able to get much sleep, and today is his last day on the police force. He's going to be retired. A woman at the station begins yelling, and Robert is trying to calm her down. Her son went missing in Silent Hill for a while now, and she demands answers from the police. Robert tells her that they are doing everything that they can, but the woman storms out. Robert's friend asks him how he does it, day in and day out, having to tell people that they are still working on it with no answers. It's just a part of the job, he says. Hampton tells Robert that the lieutenant wants to see him, to give him his going away party. While talking with the others, Robert finds out that his replacement isn't exactly who they thought he was. Robert got everything settled, and he even named his replacement, but instead, an FBI agent is going to figure out what's going on with the town of Silent Hill. The conversation is cut off as they are told that they have a call. The new guy, Mulberry, is going over the scene, and he doesn't think any of this is right. No bodies, the smell of blood, none of it. But Robert and Mulberry notice some tire tracks heading towards Silent Hill, and that's where they're going to go. They get into their car and they start driving towards Silent Hill, but Robert isn't convinced that this guy is ready to take over his position. The two begin talking on the ride there, with Mulberry telling him that there are monsters in there. Robert thinks he's crazy, but Mulberry thinks that there is something not natural happening, and thinks that Robert has just come to terms with how things are. But Robert has a plan. He looks down at his phone and he sees a message. We're set. Bring the turkey to shoot. Robert and the other officers are planning on scaring Mulberry to leave. Back at our grinning man from earlier, he sees a couple being chased by some demons. Screaming for help, he watches. And just at the right moment, he fires 2 bullets, stopping the demon. He walks over, pointing his gun down on the fallen demon, telling them that this is going to be over fast if this is the best that they've got. Then he turns to the couple, telling them not to worry. He has plans for them. Robert and Mulberry pull over to the Lakeview Hotel. Inside are other officers waiting in costumes to try and scare Mulberry off. But things don't seem to be going as planned when 2 officers inside hear a noise. Our grinning man then comes in, guns drawn. Looking at the old men, he decides he can't use them, so he decides to shoot them. En route to the hotel, Mulberry is trying to make small talk, and he asks Robert if he really believes that there is nothing going on in the city. He does, but he says it has to be the normal crazies, not something paranormal. Mulberry continues trying to convince Robert that there is actually something there, until they are stopped. Standing in their way is a group of men looking down at the 2 of them. Robert tries to arrest them, but they don't listen. The middle demon says kill them, and then it recognizes Robert and tells the other demons to leave them. Before the 2 can chase, they hear someone calling for help. It's the 2 girls from earlier sitting in the corner with strange symbols burned into the ground, the walls around them, and their own foreheads. If they cross over the seal, they'll begin to burn. Mulberry, looking at them, begins to try and figure them out, but Robert doesn't waste any time. He shoots the wall and the floor where the seals are, breaking them and freeing the girls. He tries to ask who did this, but it seems the burn marks on their heads have prevented them from speaking. Mulberry tries to figure out the reason behind all of this. Why is this happening? But still trying to believe what is even happening. Before long, our grinning man shows up asking Robert to give back what's his. Robert asks him, what is the deal with all of this? To hunt? That's it? Isn't that reason enough? Before any other words can be exchanged, Robert shoots the man, telling the others to run, and he's gonna go looking for the missing people from earlier. Alone, Robert comes across some people and he tells them that he's there to help. Once they come into the light, he notices that they have the markings on their foreheads. One of them tells him that it's a bit late for them. They begin to walk Robert to a hospital where the others are being held. The same one from earlier begins to tell Robert what's going on, about the markings and about everything. The grinning man burns these marks onto people to take their power, turning them dead. But it also protects them from the demons. They can't harm those that are branded, but it draws them out. That's when the grinning man begins to hunt the demons. As Robert begins to free the captured inside and he leaves, he sees that all of the demons are starting to gather. They can't kill the ones that are marked, But Robert doesn't have a brand. After shooting some of them, the others begin to fall, and there he is, the grinning man with Mulberry. As the grinning man begins to tell him how much they each have what they want, Robert, before even letting him finish his sentence, begins shooting. The grinning man begins to question how Robert is able to shoot him. How is Robert able to get through this magic? And Robert begins to say that he thinks he knows what's going on. The demons aren't going after him because he lets things happen. He knew something was wrong, but he didn't do anything to try and stop it. He just didn't do anything about it. He just left it. The grinning man gets off a shot on Robert's shoulder, but then he sees the brand has been lifted from all of the people captured. Robert stands up and he turns to the demons making their way in. And he tells them in one word: draw. These Silent Hill stories are a bit confusing, but hey, so are the games. Let me know in the comments down below what stories you want us to cover next. We're already doing the Street Fighter ones, so how about Mass Effect, Assassin's Creed, Tomb Raider, or even something like Sonic the Hedgehog? Let me know in the comments down below and follow us on Twitter @EligibleMonster, and I'll see you guys next time right here.